Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Come on, everybody. Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. What do I
Hare
start
Krishna,
with?
Mataji.
What do I start with? With the story,
With
or
the
maybe
story
I'll
of
start
the
story which is pending.
that how this thing.
Story, Mataji.
Ghar Jawai.
Suppose I get delayed and if I'm not able to complete the verses, what do I do?
I will wait.
It's okay,
You will
Mataji.
Okay, very nice.
Mataji, we'll do it tomorrow then.
No. No problem. I have to cover the verses. Otherwise, the whole schedule we've planned for 10 months. Na? Everything will go for a toss. No problem. So we will have the story. Okay, just give me 1 second. I will start with the verses little bit and I will pause and then I will take you to the story, right? So this is one thing.
You will be able to do both, don't worry.
I'll do both. Okay, so let me start with the story then.
Yeah, make us fresh first.
Okay, no problem. Done. Yeah, so I'll mute everyone. I think I'm not the co-host. Prabhu, can you co-host me? Maybe you can also mute. Okay, so we'll
sure,
start.
Mataji. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, made the point.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Tat Sat. So today there's something which I wanted to start off with, story, right? And Krishna willing, I thought when I meet you all again, I will start with the story. So I'm starting with the story of the yatra which we went. We went to a place, right, in Kumbakonam. This is one of the 108 Divya Desam. As you know, Divya Desams are considered very, very holy as per Ramanuja Sampradayam. There are 4 Sampradayams. One of that is Madhavacharya, which is what we are coming in, Brahma Gaudiya Madhava Sampradayam. But prior to that, we should also tell there is something called Ramanuja Sampradayam, which is also called the Sri Sampradayam. So Nachiyar is the name of the Lakshmi temple, right? Lakshmi Didi is called Nachiyar. So, so another name in South which is used is that, and same way Purushottam, one more name is Perumal, right? Usually, everywhere the temple will be based on the name of the Purushottam, who's Krishna, of course. So, but this particular temple is called the Manchula Valli Nachiyar. So we'll, for convenience, use the word as Nachiyar. Okay. Now there are multiple stories to this particular temple. So this is a very, very interesting part of the story. So the interesting part of the story is that this particular temple is the hero, who is obviously Krishna, is very befitting, so ideal for Kali Yuga, and you'll know why. So what happens is, this Valli is the Gopi, right? Our Sampradayam, we call it Gopi, and in their Sampradayam, they say it is one of the form of Lakshmi. Since there is not much of difference, we'll go with this. So obviously, to make the long story short, I'm going to cover the larger part of Krishna's story, because that is what registered in my head. So I'll go with what came into my head. So what happens is, this Valli, the father wants to fix an alliance and all that, the old story typically, and the girl says, no, I want to marry only Krishna. If Krishna does not come, I will commit suicide, right? So imagine, look at Krishna's plight, right? So we know the story of Rukmini. So we have the story, right? Rukmini vacha ritva gunan bhuvana sundaram shinvatate nirvishya karna vivare haritangatapam rupam trisham trishimatam akilatalapam tvayachyuta vishati chittam apatratam me. Very nice, right? So she did not hear, she only heard, she never saw Krishna and she fell in love. So is there only one Rukmini? No, there are many, obviously only one Rukmini, but many of them in the same bhava, right? Which is why Dwaraka is filled with 16,108 wives. But here the story is a little different. This is about Gopi Bhav. So what Valli has is Gopi Bhav. She says, I want to marry him, right, at any cost. So now the story is slightly different. Rukmini was easy because this was 108 wives, right? So initially it was a little easier because he was just married. He was just going there, getting new bride, very young. He was possibly not even married then, to be more precise. But now what is the story is, when this is happening, obviously this is also in Dwapara Yuga, but this time there are a lot of people. Of course, all of us know Balaram is there. He was there then too. So there is no problem. But the problem is Pradyumna is there. Oh, you'll be telling, okay, Pradyumna is there. Now the son of Pradyumna is also here and his son Purushottam is also there. Right. So basically, remember, Krishna is the grandfather or possibly the great grandfather. Okay. Now let's go to the storyline. Now, what is happening is obviously, you know, there is this hall which is going on in Dwaraka. There is this courtyard where everything is going, and you know, there is a huge situation going on, and obviously, Krishna has to take a walk, right? Obviously, you know, right? In Ranbhumi, he ran away, so you call him Ranchor. Now, you know, you call him in the middle of, you know, a temple hall. If we go, people keep looking at us, right? What's wrong? Why is she gone? Maybe something is wrong. So imagine if Krishna, who is leading the entire hall, right, the courtyard, takes a walk, what happens? So he gives an excuse. You know, my, you know, body is not keeping up. I have to attend to the nature call, excuse me, and he takes a walk. Because, you know, he has to run, right? Already one time he ran for Rukmini, now one more time. There are many times, but the extent to which we know, we are sharing. Now, Balram is seeing. This fellow did this when he was 8 years. Now, 80 years also, he's doing the same. Now, when he was 18 years also, he needed my help. Imagine now also he'll need my help and he says, on to you, Balram. And Balram is telling, so Balram is telling, and Krishna is telling, yeah, we have joint work, so we have to go. And you know, his son, Pradyumna, is looking at him. Oh my God. And somebody is going to type in the chat box the name of Pradyumna's son. Okay. Hare Krishna, type chat.
Aniruddha.
One more son. Okay. So who became after Dwaraka?
Janmijay
Samba.
No. Samba is Krishna's son, not Pradyumna's son. He's Krishna's. There was one guy who was left Purushottam's father. You can Google and check. So Purushottam is the grandson. So you can imagine. Now I'm coming back to the main story. You can type in the chat. We'll see who gets it right. Now what happens is all of them, now he's looking, now his son is looking, Purushottam is looking, all of them are looking one after the other. And obviously, you know, Krishna is thinking, what can I do? Now, you know, he's in a very hot, he's in a hot spot always, but he's in a hotter spot this time because besides all this, he's also very stressful, right? So, so what should he do? He has no idea, but he says, okay, because Krishna never says no. The unfortunate part of Krishna is he does not know to say no. So what does he do? He says, okay. And imagine to this entire place, Kumbakonam, everybody lands. The whole team lands up, including his grandson, Purushottam. So all of them full-fledged Radha. Just imagine Krishna, his brother, his son. Just imagine the scene, okay? Because I always tell we all have to travel. So we are all traveling and we are right there. Full family. Now let's go to the main part of the story. The main part of the story is even more stressful. And what is that stress on this story is, the father-in-law says, if you want to marry my daughter, just imagine, if you want to marry my daughter, I have a few conditions. Prior to that, Krishna only tells, I'm willing to take care of your daughter. I will do. Now the father-in-law says, okay, I'm very happy you're willing to take care of my daughter, but I have I also have my apprehension. Krishna says, don't worry. Father, don't worry. I am there. I'll take care. Whatever is your condition, start. Okay. Balram is looking. Then Krishna is looking. He's telling, kya hota hai? What's happening? Balram is telling, see what's going to happen. This is the mind voice, right? Krishna's BP is already up because Balram gives that kind of a look. Krishna knows, okay, I am into trouble. So he says that, I just want to, add a few things that there are some small challenges which I am having. He says, don't worry about the challenges. I am there. I will take care of all the challenges. I am there to solve all the problems. So please feel free to shoot whatever challenge you have. Let me try and solve everything. In fact, don't even worry. Everybody, right, I can solve. He says, yeah, but, I have a few things which may be a little contradictory. Krishna is telling, don't worry. I am a man of contradiction and I'm totally fine with contradiction. Please shoot. So he says, no problem. The only contradiction is that, that my daughter is my only daughter. So, there is only one thing that wherever, I always want my daughter's name and fame, just like how father knows. And once women get married, their name goes behind the husband. So I'm very uncomfortable with this. He says, oh, you feel that? Why do you feel that? So exactly the location of this, the place he's telling us, this is more in the south, right? So He says, okay, you tell me what is the thing. He says, no, wherever you go, it's called Perumal, that is Purushottam. But I want my daughter's name to be highlighted. I want, my daughter to be in the front, in the sense her name to come. He says, okay, I have no problem. So I'm totally fine with that. So you please, what do you want? You tell me. I'll go with that. He says that every temple is called by your name. I want my daughter name only to come in this temple. Is that okay? He says, no problem. So this temple is one of the temples, or probably very few temples, which is named after the heroine than the hero, right? So you may be wondering, what is there? Mataji, everywhere. My house is also named after me only. My husband's name is not only there. That is Kali Yuga, no? But I've already told you, this is not Kali Yuga. This is the previous Yuga, right? So this temple is called Vanchula Valli Nachiyar. Vanchula Valli is the name of this girl. So this Vanchula Valli's father only is giving all this condition, right? Krishna says, no problem. Then he says, okay, I also have one more condition. He says, yes, what? He says, inside every altar, we have the deity of you, right? And the Lakshmi deity is somewhere in one side, either in a corner, or she will be not even there in the altar. She'll be in another corner. So Krishna is telling, okay, but don't worry, there is one more temple called the Nachiyar temple somewhere near Techi, which is called Urayur. There also, the main temple is called Nachiyar temple. So you have a preceding history. He says, yeah, I know, but I don't want to get into all that, because there also preceding history is there, but you are only there. You're the most handsome. You're called the Aragana Manivan, which means that you're the handsome bride, groom, and your picture only is there. He says, okay, I understand. Don't worry. Your daughter's picture will proceed. So your daughter will be the main deity. I will be in one corner. He says, okay. Balaram is thinking, oh my God. See, remember one thing. Don't get confused, because Krishna has become, grandfather. All this is happening. No. That is not the story. The story is very beautifully that Krishna is still having the same beauty, right? So the demand is from the father. Okay, so let's still go with the demands of the father. So he says that 2 conditions, 1 temple, name. Now the third condition he says is, every time I see the Krishna only, that is men go up and women come behind, right? I don't want that. I want my daughter to lead. Okay. Now Balaram stopped seeing. Now Krishna eye is not up, is only down. You know why? Because imagine he's little Chino. Usually his dealing is only with him. He doesn't take Balaram also. He'll take Uddhava. If you quite remember, we have this lot of stories, and I'm not getting into the stories, but Kubja story and all, you see, he did not even take Balaram. Now he's taken Balaram also. He's taken Pradyumna also. He's taken Purushottam also. The whole family is sitting around, and now he's extremely uncomfortable. Purushottam is the name of Krishna, but Puru is his grandson's name as well. So, so all of them are there. So this temple actually has all of them in the altar, right? Because all of them are there. So now he has one more condition. He says, in this condition, I want you to preside. My daughter will preside and you will come behind. Right? So whenever there is any function, the daughter temple, the daughter deity is brought outside. So he says, okay. And the son Pradyumna is looking, Hare yaar, everybody made fun of me when I married Maya, who is none other than Rati. Of course, that's a long story. Most of you will know, so I'm not touching. Now look at my dad. He's like, okay for everything. Now the father says, I have one more condition. Okay, now I know I'm sure you people are getting tired of the condition. Krishna says, no problem. I agree to your last condition. He says, see, Krishna is smart, na? Because there are too many conditions going. Marriage is not happening. Conditions are only coming. And this is like typically, he said that not only in my life, he also says, I'll conclude with the condition. And this is your last condition. Whatever conditions you told will come live, not only with me, but every person in the next Yuga, which is Kali Yuga, will follow in this step. So we all know the women name goes first. Any gifts are given by women. Wherever the names are there, women's names are there. And you have to know the last condition, right? I'm sure your hearts are beating. So the last condition, he says that I want you to be vetoed a Makla. Okay, I know you will be, half of them in Tamil will know. In Hindi, it is, I think, Garka something. I didn't.
Garja.
Thank you. Garja. So basically, I need the guy to be, I already told only thing, so you should be housed permanently here and you should be my son-in-law who stays in the house. And Krishna agrees. And Balaram says, yeah, final condition all over. Now time for wedding. And the Nachar says, so nice, you're all with the condition, you all are the people who have come. Since you do not have time to go and bring the rest of them, all of you come and stay with me in the altar. So all of them are there in the altar, and that's the beauty. So you see, Balaram deity is not host in many places. One of the excellent temple called, in Chennai, it's in Triplicane, and that temple is called the Partha Sarathi temple, where Balaram is also housed, Pradyumna is also housed, but Balaram is facing this side. So you can't see, you just literally have to, only the Pujari will have the darshan of Balaram. If you want, you put your head completely in, stretch your hand, you'll be able to see a very small part of Balaram, but still you can't take the darshan of him. But in this temple, you can have a complete darshan of him, who's the Adi Guru. And, so this is a mandir we all went, and this represents the Kali Yuga Purushottama mini. Purushottama Krishna is that, and we are Purusha. Kali Yuga Purushas all are as it is. So this is the story which I wanted to share. I'm not sure if you relished, but then we were in the yatra, we were there, and we were like, oh my God, look at this condition. Oh my God, Krishna housed this. So we were all very zapped. When I heard this story, I was thinking all of you should have the privilege. So if any husband says, oh, see, what is this? You should tell Krishna during Dwapara Yoga told this is how you should be. And he played the role. And with this, I could stop the story, otherwise the story goes on. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Very
Beautiful.
nice. Yeah.
Hare Krishna,
Beautiful.
Hare Krishna.
Very nice.
Yeah, enjoy. No,
Yes.
enough of Kumbakonam. Come back right now. We have to go back to
Mangalore.
not necessary Chennai or Delhi. We can actually go back to Loka where Narada is there. Narada is everywhere. What should I do? Hare Krishna. Don't worry, Narada is everywhere, but right now he is in Brahma Loka along with Brahma. So the questions are, remember, you might little get zapped with this particular chapter. This chapter is called the cause of all causes. Just like how I want to ask one question, and if you answer this question, you understood this chapter. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, I'm repeating again, Krishna in Bhagavad Gita was very confused with whom? So today, we are seeing the chapter, second canto, fifth chapter. So here we are talking about two different roles. But Krishna in Bhagavad Gita spoke to Arjuna. So why does he clarify Arjuna? Is Arjuna confused? Is he a less intelligent person?
No, Mataji.
No, he
Then
wanted
why-
to convey the
He
message
was
to us.
put under Maya by the Lord.
Yeah.
Because he
Very
wanted
nice.
the first person in
Enlightenment
Kali
For
Yuga
the
belongs
general
like that.
masses.
And Mataji,
Yoga Maya's role, right?
it is
Exactly
also
the same
because
thing.
that others cannot impose, become as
Brilliant.
masters, Mataji.
Brilliant. The same thing happened here with respect to our Narada, right? So I wanted to understand this perspective when I said Narada, because you will all be wondering why. Why Narada? Because if Narada does not ask some questions, these are going to go over our head. Now, before we, for a change, I'm going to start with the presentation, and then we will do the verses based on time. So typically, so this chapter is a very brilliant chapter, which houses Narada story and he being put in confusion. So it's called the cause of all causes, and he is going to find the cause of all causes. Obviously, we already know the cause of all causes. It's called the Sarga and Visarga because Visarga is, who's in charge of Visarga?
Brahmaji.
Brahma.
Brahma.
But there is
Secondary
a twist here in this chapter 5 is that Narada thinks that Sarga is also Brahma. Now, that is where he is bewildered. So in the first 8 verses, we see Narada is going to ask a lot of questions, a lot of doubts, a lot of convictions. He is as brilliant, if not more, and all those who follow his footsteps will continue to ask questions because I met Guruma and she told me that Vishnu Guruma, and she told me that the more you ask questions, you get closer to Lord because it means that you really want to hear more about him. So I really like to encourage these questions coming up. So right now, Narada is going to ask the question. Now, Brahma clarifies all his false conviction. The reason I'm highlighting false conviction is whatever questions he asks are going to appear this way. The next verse is going to be 14, 16. Brahma is going to answer 1, 2, and the third question. So he's also going to compare and explain various things. Just 1 second, which is Jiva Tattva, difference between Jiva Tattva and Vishnu Tattva. You all know, but he's just clarifying for many who do not know. 21 to 35, Brahma is answering what is called Yatash. This question is not answered initially, so that is there. And then he describes Virat Rupa. Virat Rupa is explained many times, right? First canto also. Second canto, first chapter talks about Virat Rupa. What do they ask? Second canto, first chapter, what Virat Rupa?
Brahman realization, Mataji. Neophyte yogis, they
Neophyte can realize
caste yogis,
Brilliant.
meditate on
their
Brilliant,
composed
brilliant, very, very happy.
body
Neophyte
of the Lord.
realization, right? Neophyte, how can he meditate on? But here, the Virat Rupa is going to be different. And for that, you have to wait and see through the week. But right now, let's get to the quick story. Hare Krishna. So we are going to see Canto 2, Chapter 5, where Narada, just like Arjuna, is completely bewildered. So Narada thinks that entire cause of all causes, as in the heading of this chapter, is none other than Krishna. But he is asking this question to Brahma, and Brahma is saying, Narada, no, whatever you're thinking is your own conviction, which is not true. So we can understand from here that whatever is our own conviction becomes concoction. We have to hear from authority. And we are coming from that parampara where Krishna spoke to Brahma and Brahma spoke to Narada. This is a beautiful chapter because this chapter is exactly our parampara, right? Krishna, Brahma, Narada, and obviously you'll be wondering, but this happened, Narada spoke to Vyasa in the first canto itself. Srimad Bhagavatam is history, but it does not necessarily go chronologically. So here we see Narada also speaking to Vyasa in the first canto. So we've covered Krishna talking to Brahma, Brahma talking to Narada, Narada speaking to Vyasa. So that connect which we saw in the first canto where Narada speaks to Vyasa, we know. Krishna speaking to Brahma also we know. The connect of how it went between these two is what is discussed in this chapter. And the chapter talks about very important questions where Brahma is going to answer. So before that, why, how does he get a clue? I want you all to start meditating on how he gets a clue, right? And one more thing is, I was talking about this authority, right? Parampara system. This is exactly what Prabhupada also tells. One should always follow the parampara system. We should not speak or assume how the mind agitates. So many times our mind tells, including teacher, this is for us, right? We will have our own conviction. One classic conviction is initiation. I still remember initiation, we need permission of our heart. On goodwill reason, we take family permission, friends permission, everyone. Though I took permission of my friends, all of them who are important, who have been helpful in my life. But having said that, if the answer was no, and my mom asked me this, she said, if I had said no, and my husband said the same, what would have been your answer? I said, maybe first time I would have gone against your words. Now you'll be wondering, is it first time? I don't know whether it's first time or not, but the dialogue though has to go. No? So I use that dialogue. So coming back to the main thing, every time we do so many things against the will of our family. But can't we do that with convincing the family? Can we go against the will of the family? Irrespective of whatever is the answer is yes. For Krishna, we can do anything. The idea is not that we have to fight with the family. That's not what I'm saying. But Shastra says a few things. Shastra says you don't need permission for certain things. Same way Shastra says you don't need to take bath before chanting. As a practice we do. That's a different thing. But as a preacher, when I'm teaching, I don't tell you have to take baths. That is not the right way. That's not the point. I can always tell I can get up in the middle of the night and do. I can just chant. Bath is not mandatory. This is how I need to tell because teacher has to speak Shastra. I cannot tell, hey, how can I be? Can't put my own mental concoction. Everything has to come from disciplinic succession. And therefore, you see, everywhere they're talking about disciplinic succession. So Sukadev spoke, Goswami, when he spoke also to Parikshit, also is talking about that. So now, how should the inquiry be? We've already seen, and I'm going to ask you all this. How should the inquiry be? We know which verse? Bhagavad Gita. Come on, all of you. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, very nice. Out of 50 students, I'm glad there's a lot of noise coming from at least 25. Tadvini pranipratena paniprasnena sevaya upadrishante te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshinaha. This is what is all about text 1, where the inquisitive student will approach the spiritual master, surrender, submissive, service. These are the 3 S's, right? Surrender, submissive service. If I'm sitting the question paper, I will ask this. I'm not sitting the question paper. I don't know, but I'm just giving you the answer. You have to surrender. You know that submissive and with the intention to serve, because serving is very important. And we are seeing this. He's a bona fide student, and therefore they are talking about the nature of inquiry should be something. And that we saw yesterday's chapter, right? Like not yesterday, 2.4 chapter, where, the teacher, Sarvagnya, the spiritual master should have knowledge of all subject matters related to Krishna. So don't tell me all subject matter means, Mataji, I asked my spiritual master that my bathroom tap is not fixed. When will it get fixed? That is not the nature of question. We will ask Krishna, my life with Krishna is not getting fixed. Please tell me when that will get fixed. That is exactly the kind of questions we will pose, right? Uttama Shloka. And obviously, who is Uttama Shloka?
Lord Krishna.
Krishna.
Excellent. In every name, every form, every word, every action, every thought, every talk, Uttama Shloka is Krishna, because that's exactly what they talk. Now, Narada Muni is going to ask certain questions, right? And the reason he's asking this question is, if I am the authority, that's going to come up later, but I'm just giving you a heads up. Why do you think Narada is asking the question? Narada very strongly believes, which is what we are going to see, that Brahma is the creator. If he knows or he feels Brahma is the creator, he is not going to go and ask, are you the creator? Yad Rupam, Yad Adhisthanam, Yad Shritam, Yad Samstham, Yad Param, Yad Cha. He is not going to ask all these questions. We'll discuss the questions now, but why do you think he's going to ask the questions? If he knows that
For us.
Because Brahma is
Constantly-
worshipping a superior
Constantly
authority.
he sees
Excellent.
Brahma
He sees-
doing
yes.
authority
Very good. Thank you so much. I think all those,
Meditating, and he wants to know whom he's meditating upon
Hare
now.
Krishna, very, very nice. I think all those who did not read the book still told very nicely the answer, telling that for our sake, which is also the right answer, but the most appropriate answer, and all those who have read it earlier told me the correct answer, which means that we saw Brahma meditating, and normally someone meditates, right? So if I tell you that I am the authority, I'm going to teach, I'm going to take the decision on the exam, then if you ask me one thing and I tell, just give me 1 second, and I'm calling someone, Prabhu, Namnishta Prabhu, tell me what is this? What you tell? Mataji, whom did you speak? Oh, then is he the authority? Yes. Same way, what is happening is here, Narada Muni actually notices that Brahma seems to be cross-checking with someone. So therefore, he is actually thinking, oh, somebody is authority. And who is this authority? He wants to know. So he's asking, Yad Rupam, what is the characteristics of the universe? The universe, what is the form? That is Rupam, characteristics, right? Who is the shelter, right? Like, what is the shelter? What is the background? Yet Adhisthanam. Third one is, how is it created? Yata Shrishti, creation. How is it dissolved? Conserved, dissolved, both are coming in. Srishti, all three together, right? So how is it conserved is Yet Samstha, and Yet Param is what it depends on. Yet Cha is what it is composed of. Hare Krishna. With your permission, I'll sip a cup of milk also. I'm hungry. So Narada Muni inquires about Brahma. So Brahma is telling, okay, if Brahma is creating everything on his own, right? He's getting confused now. So he's going to ask me, Eka Srijasi Bhutani. Are you alone creating? My dear father, what is the source of your knowledge? Under whose protection are you standing? Under whom are you working? What is your real position? Do you alone create with your material elements by your energy? This one is because he perceives Brahma is independent. However, if it is me or us, what will you tell? Haha, beta, don't worry, I am the one. Right? When we were small, we used to tell that, right? To children, I still remember to my daughter, when my daughter used to come and tell, I'm scared. Mama is there, Baba. Why are you taking? I used to be so scared. But I used to tell her, don't worry. Mommy is there. I will take care. Not only when she's a child, I continue to do it right now. How many of us do that? Huh? I tell her. I have never said Krishna is there, he'll take care. I am there. Don't worry, na. Tell me honest, nobody's telling. Am I the only one or I have company?
No, I'm doing Mataji.
Thank you.
Yeah, doing Mataji.
He
Don't
just
worry.
comes out without thought.
We tell that. Yeah. At least now I tell her, when you get stuck somewhere, tension, you tell Krishna, Krishna, and think of me. So all that. If she thinks of me, nowhere. Okay. Except for name, which is very favorable for me, Radhika by itself, which is my pre-name, which is my Karmi name. I can't use a name, Karmi name, because it's not technically Karmi name as well. It's like pre-name, initiation name, post-initiation name. I don't think, she thinking of me is going to help anyway. So Narada Muni is started inquiring to Brahma. You're independent, right? Like he's also giving an example, spider. So and he's also giving 2-3 examples. One example he's telling is like a spider, self-sufficient. It'll create on its own. It'll swallow, destroy everything, right? With its own saliva. So is it like that? Obviously, we all know Krishna is Atma Rama, Atma Kama also, because he's completely self-satisfied and he doesn't need anyone else to satisfy him because he by himself is complete, right? And we have seen a lot of information on this, and I'm not touching on that with shortage of time. But then what is happening? He's like, okay, my daddy only is great. He's thinking like that, like a spider. He also feels like, we have a walnut. There is two stories. One is a walnut, another one is a gooseberry, depending on the language which you're going to refer. Irrespective of it, whatever I have in my hand, I know whether I'm having one or two. So he thinks Brahma knows in and out of the universe. His perception, that is always right. That is the first hero, no, for all of us. For him to Narada. But we are forgetting that our real dad is Krishna. So now Lord Krishna sometimes does cause this bewilderment for pure devotees, just like how you all already told Arjuna, right? Before the slide came, I think you all knew the answer. So therefore, these not only Arjuna, there are some more examples. Now I'm going to ask, who are all bewildered in Srimad Bhagavatam? One was Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. Who else?
Vyasdev also became bewildered. Then Narad Muni
That's
given in
Uddhava.
silence of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Uddhava also. Vidura.
Nice. Uddhava, who else?
Parikshit Maharaj Mount.
Parikshit was not
Maharaj
bewildered.
was bewildered.
I don't remember Parikshit being bewildered. Parikshit asked. Yudhishthira Maharaj. Very nice. So Yudhishthira was bewildered. That is why even though Krishna told, Vyasa told, he was not convinced and he made Bhishma speak, right? Yeah. So that was one time. Parikshit was also bewildered, but I don't see very strong. I think someone saw this. It's here, Parikshit. Very nice. So Parikshit, I did not know Parikshit was bewildered. But yeah, exactly. You're talking about when was Parikshit bewildered? Yeah, now I understand. Sorry. I left the main story. When he was bewildered with hunger, right? Yes, you're right. When he could tolerate
Not tolerate his thirst and hunger.
Thirst,
he was bewildered.
He's someone who could fast for 7 days without even a drop of water, but he was bewildered over a pretty hunting campaign, right? Yeah, thank you so much. Sorry, I take back. Sort of, we got bewildered and we missed out Parikshit. So everybody gets bewildered. So that's the case. And Bhavat Virya Darshane. So questions about now beauty of the thing, right? Now Krishna puts in spot because we should know, right? We should ask questions. But questions of Krishna is also so beautiful, right? That is why we see everybody appreciating Krishna. Questions about you are so great, right? Prowess are so glorious. So that's why Bhavat Virya Darshane, anything about you is wow. This is said so many times. Whatever you're telling is 1.2.5. He says that Bhavat Vir Loka Mangalam. It's for the best of the world. When was this word spoken? 1.2.5.
Suta Goswami speaks with Taunaka.
Very beneficial.
Excellent.
When
Naimisharanya
Parikshit Maharaj asked Suta Goswami.
Yeah.
No, Parikshit, yeah, exactly. Second half of the conversation. Suta to Naimisharanya Rishis. Suta Goswami glorifies, telling the Naimisharanyas, wow, your questions are brilliant. Parikshit also appreciates, but this context is about that. Parikshit appreciating, appreciating Sukha is coming in 2.1.1. Where he's saying Krito Loka Hitam Nirpa Atmavit Samata Pumshan. So this is beautiful. Sotva. It's amazing for the ears because your subject matter is brilliant. Obviously, there are 3 solid speakers here. We covered Suta and Naimisharanya. We are seeing Sukha and Parikshit, and we also have Maitri and Vidura, wherein they say Sadhu Prishtam Tvaya Sadhu. Lokan Sadhvanu Grihanna. So amazing questions. All are telling questions are amazing across. And we have, I said, 3 levels of speakers, of which Sukha and Parikshit are considered at the Uttamadhigari level. You'll be wondering, how exactly they are Uttamadhigari? Unfortunately, all are Uttamadhigari only. But at the Kanishta level, they are highlighting Naimisharanya Rishis because they did, if you go through the text, it says that Naimisharanya Rishis did Karma Kanda. That's what they said. No, my face got blackened because they did that for the sake of it. All are Uttamadhigari from our stand, but between their comparative stand. And obviously, Maitreya and Vidura are coming midway. You'll be telling how Vidura is great. Yes, but Maitreya Maharishi is not coming under the Uttamadhigari. So that is the difference, right? Now, Brahma response is very different. Unlike if it was Radhika Dasi, if my daughter tells, Mama, you're the best, I will tell yes. Can you take care of me? Yes. But Brahma doesn't do that because he's Brahma. So Brahma very nicely see that ran off of my system. Brahma very clearly says, no, I am not the do all, buy all of everything. please understand there is someone behind me. And that someone is basically what he's saying is that someone is very special, right? And he starts speaking about that from the 10th, 11th verse onwards, where he says in the 11th verse, he says, just like a small seed. And there's a story behind this, I think most of you will know. Behind the banyan tree, the small seed is there, right? From that only big tree is going on. So he says that Lord has that power, right? Brahma Jyoti is something. So where he says Swa Roshi. Right? Yeah, thank you. So Roshi Sa. So Sa Roshi Sha, or it's called a proper tongue twister. Roshi Sha actually means what? He's talking about that. What did Brahma do? The original seed giving. Aham Bija. Aham Bija.
Pradam Pita.
Giving the bija, he is only a gardener. So if I have a garden and the seed is there, I appoint a gardener and the gardener grows it. Can he tell this is my garden? Or will I tell it's my garden? I'm the rightful owner. I'm the owner of the house, right? Right. I already told I am not that Krishna conscious. So I'll tell I only. So for the time being. So this Dasi is claiming ownership, though she doesn't understand she's a Dasi, who's Radhika Dasi. Like that Brahma is telling is different. He doesn't claim. He says that I am only a gardener. But the seed came from Krishna, is what he's saying. Now, Brahma here is compared to the gardener, who is basically trying to bring up the tree where the seed is given by him. So, Brahma very clearly is telling that Yenaswa Roshisha Vishwa. So, therefore, he is telling that I created after the God's creation. And what is God's creation is Brahma Jyoti. Right? After Lord's creation, by his personal effulgence. You'll be wondering why the story which I was initially talking about, Krishna's Leelas, pastimes, which are so beautiful, so relishing, are very different from here is because Krishna loves to be personally present on the pastime, which is why whichever pastime we are talking about, whether it's Gopi or whether it's Rajavasi, whether it's Dwarakavasi, Krishna is physically present because just like how we do. For anybody to come, what I do to the airport, I'll send my driver, I'll send my person, I'll send my family. But if my, my spouse, my husband is coming, my mama is coming, my daughter is coming, my son is coming, I will run to the airport, right? I will drive. Driver also, I will like to drive. Or driver comes also, I will go along, right? Why? Because we love to be there. And therefore, so is Krishna. Krishna loves devotees. So he's personally present. But he doesn't like the material world. Yes, he doesn't. Because the king created the jail. The government created the jail. Do you think the government loves it? Do you think the king loves the jail? No. Does the king like or not?
Doesn't like.
No.
He doesn't like.
Like that, what he has to make it.
Many parents used to tell dark room. I will put you in the dark room. It's not the right thing, but I'm just telling. Do the parents really like dark room? Do the parents really like to scold the children? No, right? No. Same way, this, in fact, I remember my cousin's carrying my dog, his dog, not my dog. I don't have a dog. He telling that I will put you in the dark room. I said, Acha, dog can see. Doesn't matter. He's just got the fear because he's got 2 kids and the kids are scared. So the moment I put you in the dark room before the kids, the dog runs away because it's just the way you're trained, right? Same way, this story comes back to where, we're talking about the dark room. So room is our what?
Material world.
Ignorance.
Material world.
Material world is a dark world. We are already here because of ignorance. He doesn't want. Because of that, he is anyway giving external light. He doesn't put in dark room. He's putting Brahma Jyoti, sun, moon, every time. But the problem is, in spite of all the light around, I will be dark inside my heart. That is our specialty. We are like super special. So at least children, we put in the dark room and scare. Krishna is giving us light, but still we are in the dark room. Amazing we are. So Yamaraj is like Yamadutas, right? He came. Remember, sometimes Yamadutas had the same confusion. When was he confused?
Ajamila.
Ajamila's case that he
Both of them
turns
are
to abominable
When Yamduta
activities.
and Vishnudutas came.
Excellent. Yamadutas. That time they said, Arey, I thought you're the boss. He says, I am your boss.
Yeah.
I am your boss, but I am not the boss. Right? So, the boss is Krishna. That is what Brahma is also telling. Anyone has a disconnect in this?
No.
No, right? Okay. You can't. In Bhakti Vaibhav, no. This is Bhakti Vaibhav 100 marks question. Maya is like shadow, right? Most of the time we keep telling Maya, I should be scared. But I'm sure I don't need to explain to you all in the 13th verse where Maya is very shy. She will always hide behind Krishna. And this is the lesson which we tell in level 1. And I like to tell, we are here, right? I mean, no, Krishna is here. All the Buddhas, Maya, ghost, everything attacks us because we are like this. We are facing that side. Now we are turning towards Krishna. The difference could be we may be this far, we may be this far, we may be this close. Even if we are this far, Maya or ghost, anyone has to come in between, which means they have to face Krishna. They can't do it, right? So now Mr. Prabhu always tells, right? You don't have to worry because Maya, ghost, nothing applies to devotees. Even if the devotees are very far away from Krishna, they are still seeing Krishna. So which means all of us, irrespective of whether we are this far or this close, will be here, right? Now the difference between this far and this close is a story of what Prabhu told me once, right? So this was during one of our trips to Kerala with my family. My daughter was mentioning that one of her friend, there's something called black magic, which is very popular in Bihar and in Kerala. So I think it was Namanishna Prabhu's class, which was muted, of course, the 8 o'clock Bhagavatam class. And we were going on with one of those sessions, and my daughter was telling that one of her friend, classmate, went and, it was a ghost haunted place. Before they went itself, they all fainted and all that she said. And I was never believed in ghosts in the first place. Now I do, but I know that ghost is there, but Krishna is also there, who's very powerful. But earlier I believed there was no ghost, right? So my mom is a strong believer the ghost doesn't exist. Now my daughter said, do you believe? I said, no, let's go. I believe, but then that's all not to come, let's go. So why are you all trying all these funny things? I said, Ma, you don't believe in ghosts. How? She tried convincing us, we were so adamant, no, we'll go. And all of this, trust me, I did not even log in. And after a few minutes, I think that topic was so relevant. And I still remember, I can never forget how Prabhu can relate to my mind. It's like being caught. It's like my CCTV. Every time I think I have to do something crucially bad, Prabhu catches me. He said, Radhika, yes, Prabhu. What are you up to? I still can do. I said, what, Prabhu? Nothing. Then I asked him only one question. I didn't obviously tell the background of all this. I said, Prabhu, yes, he said only one line. He said, even before I could speak, he said, do you think you're more powerful than ghost? I told him, Prabhu, is ghost more powerful? Prabhu started laughing. He said, do you have a doubt? I said, yes, Prabhu. He said, definitely ghost is more powerful. Don't even have a doubt. Then I asked him one thing. I said, Prabhu, then Krishna is more powerful. He said, yes. Prabhu, then Hare Krishna will be powerful. He said, yes. If the ghost comes to you, you tell Hare Krishna. You don't go search the ghost near and tell Hare Krishna. I can never forget those words. And I would like to share this here because why he said that I didn't understand, but I followed him. I immediately dropped. I said, no, we might as well go to the mandir. That is our agenda. We will go and see Krishna, which was called the Krishna in Kerala. Do you all know what is he called? He's very small Krishna, like our Udupi Krishna.
Only Krishna.
He's called Guruvayurappan. He's Guruvayurappan. Yeah, so I said we'll go and see Guruvayurappan only. Later, now I understand the reason he would have told us we are all probably practicing devotees, especially we would have been looking at Krishna, but this far. Obviously, when the ghost comes, I will obviously remember Krishna, or possibly not, but the Krishna will definitely come for help. But my attitude was wrong, right? I go search in ghost. My thought is fully about the ghost, right? See, otherwise my thought may not be on Krishna, but at least it will not be on ghost. But if I'm going in search of ghost, what happens? My thought, action, planning, everything is never about Krishna. It's going to be literally, I'm slightly turning away from Krishna, looking into Krishna. So this was my thought. I thought I'll just share the story because suddenly it came. And the reason I'm telling you is the 13th verse talks about this, right? And that verse, if I may share, is this one, which talks about Bhakti Yoga is very, very potent, but Maya is very shy. She's always hiding behind them. And Yoga Maya is inside Krishna, internal energy. And Mahamaya is very, very shy, external energy. She is always behind. But we are completely stressed out. We believe in her, and that's a problem. Now, Brahma will start answering all the questions. Yad Rupam, he says characteristics of the Rupa is that Vishnu is the cause of all cases, which is what he says in Brahma Samhita also. And what does he say?
Ishvara Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi
सर्वकारणकारणम्
Ishwarah Paramakrishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana. Karan is saying in Brahma Samhita also. But Narada did not read Brahma Samhita the way you all have. And therefore he is telling him, don't worry, Vishnu is the cause of all creations, all of them. And Lord manifest in this universe from all we know. Who's this Lord who from his universe? Multiple andas are coming.
Mahavishnu.
Karnodakashayi.
Also called
Garbhadakshaya Vishnu.
Excellent. Right now you have to pay attention to his Mahavishnu called the Karanodakasai Vishnu. From there he is having, from there only what is called the Pradhana, right? It is the unmanifested Pradhana stage, right? In Pradhana, when you add Kala, like your masala, right? You add Kala, that's called the power of time. It gets transformed into Mahatattva. Again, I'm telling, Pradhana is the raw, right? You add time factor, Mahatattva. Mahatattva injected with lives get into our, that is Prakriti is there. Along with Prakriti, Mahatattva enters Prakriti, earth, which is Jada. When Mahatattva enters, three modes get activated. Kala gets activated, time factor, then your Prakriti, everything becomes active. That is what we are experiencing. So there are 24 elements and you know all of that. 5 gross. Which are the 5 gross?
5.
Earth,
Water,
fire,
fire,
Fire, air,
What are the Jnanendriya?
eyes,
nose,
nose,
skin, ear,
Yes,
Right?
nose,
And what are the Karmendriya?
hands,
touch,
legs,
hands,
mouth,
legs,
next, genitals
Yes.
and the
Along with that, there are
Bodily
four
organs,
subtle, which is we know
5
mind,
objects.
intelligence, false ego.
Mind,
But
intelligence,
mind is
false
also
ego.
put here in the subtle because mind is a very powerful stuff, which is why under the unmanifested, we have what's called the mind as well. And the 25th element is time. Right? This is called the mixing element, which is what is our masala. And that is why we've all become masalified here, right? So 24 elements. And obviously beyond this, we have the 26, which is the Paramatma, which may or may not be spoken much here, but I'm just saying these are, some places say 24 elements, some say 25, some say 26.
27
But it's just,
also.
yeah, 27 also, as in this case. But what I'm saying is, it all depends on the combination, but eventually all of them are sum total of what you are seeing. Many places, subtle elements talk about intelligence, false, ego only. Mind, intelligence, false. Contaminated conscious is not generally mentioned, but here we do. Now the second and 5, yet adhishtanam. What is the background? Obviously, what is the background dash? Who's the background dash? Who's the background?
Krishna.
Krishna.
Krishna. Absolutely, Krishna. When he expands, as the first expansion is dash.
Ram.
Balram.
And from him comes all the stories.
Sankarshan.
Yes, so I'm not going to
Sankarshan.
ask that. I'm not asking that. Okay, no problem. Let's finish. First expansion.
Balram.
Balram.
Balaram.
After that,
Chaturvyuha.
Chaturvyu. First Chaturvyu.
Vasudeva Sankarshna Aniruddha
Narayana,
Pradyumna.
then
Deva, Sankarshan,
Vasudeva,
Narayana,
yeah. Then after that,
Pradyumna.
Narayana.
after that,
Second
Mahasankarshna
Chaturvyu.
Vasudeva Aniruddha Pradyumna.
and then Mahavishnu
after that,
Mahavishnu.
Purusha Avatar, wherein
super.
And
So very quickly, for the benefit of just revision, for my revision as well, from Krishna, first expansion is our Adi Guru Balaram. From there, we have what is
first Chaturvyu.
Hare Krishna. Can I say? I think since you all have done, give me also a chance to tell. I also want purification. Thank you. First one is Krishna. From there, Balaram comes, right? First expansion. Next, the first Chatur, which talks about Vasudev, Mula Sankarshna, Pradyumna, and obviously Aniruddha. Now, from here, we are moving into the Vaikunta, where Narayana comes, the second Chatur, right? What happens now is the same names getting repeated. Vasudeva, Mahasankarshna, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Obviously, I should tell the name of Sankarshna first. It should come as Sankarshna, Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. But I'm just telling for the convenience. From Mahasankarshna, we have Mahavishnu / Karanodakasai Vishnu, who is coming and sleeping or lying in the ocean called the causal ocean. From there, he creates so many andas, and each anda, we saw the composition which is here. We have what's called the Garbhodakasai Vishnu. From Garbhodakasai Vishnu, we have Brahma who's coming, and obviously Brahma, from Brahma, obviously many secondary creation, which is Visarga is happening, and we will have Kshirodaksai Vishnu entering all these bodies. Now we are also having Yat Adhisthana is answered, and the 8 elements which are mentioned here, right? We saw this very similar shloka, right? Narayana, Para, Veda, very similar to that is the shloka out here. So we have this, all of that knowledge, demigods, planets, sacrifices, mind, austerities, all of that are coming from here. Param Gati is Narayana. After that, he will talk about the rest of the things, which I will pause right now. But the main thing is how it got created. And little to conclude, he is telling all of this. There is a difference between Jiva Tattva and Vishnu Tattva. Obviously, Vishnu Tattva is the power. We are the separated part and parcels of the Lord, which is what he talks about. And he says that Lord Brahma is a secondary creator. And obviously by his Iksha, that is by seeing, by supervision, by his guidance, we saw this. And therefore, whatever credit we are getting is purely because of the credit Krishna is giving. 3 modes are above us, but below Krishna. We can't even tell above us, but we are actually succumbing to that. We are falling prey to it. That is why. Just like the sun, right? Sun cannot, the clouds can't cover the sun. Analogy given is that. Same way, this is what is happening. So all of that is what is discussed here throughout in the 19th verse onwards. And 20th verse, Krishna is talking about what is unseen, right? Which is not like, why Krishna is unseen? Whom he is unseen is by the non-devotee. Because he chooses to be that way. That is what Kunti is telling. Maya Jamanika Channam Agnya Dokshanam Avyayam Na Lakshate Muda Trisha Nato Nanyata Doyata. He doesn't want, right? So Yata Shrishtam will be answered. This is the third question between the 21st and the 42nd verse, how it is created. And rest of the questions we all already saw. And Lord's desire to manifest as many, we already saw, right, in the 4th chapter, Eko Bahusha, right? So he is one and he is manifesting as many. He is outside as well as inside through his various external energy. And that is exactly what Brahma is telling. I even existed, right? It is not only me, all of us existed even prior. And Krishna was the one who existed prior. We all existed. And even before the creation, Krishna existed and he is the one who created. And then he is talking about how everything gets manifested. There is a very beautiful flowchart which will get discussed again, but just for the sake of benefit, Karano Daksai Vishnu, we have what's called the karma, right? Very nicely. And our 84 lakh bodies are there. These are like the models which are created. Depending on our karma, we get one of the body. Prior to that, we have obviously time factor which is entering. Pradhana, our karma getting added. Our Swabhava, which is coming, modes are inactive at that stage. Now Mahatattva is coming. We are getting into modes. Modes are entering, then all masala is getting added. And then we are getting into what's called the Ahankara. And from the Ahankara, we have mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, right? And from goodness, we have what's called the Adi Atmika, which is Jnanendriya, right? Mode of passion is the Kriya Shakti, right? Rajoguna. And the small difference is that this is not Adi Atmika. Mode of goodness should be Adi Devika. I'll change the PPT. And mode of passion will be Adi Atmika. And mode of ignorance will obviously be what's called the Adi Bhuta, which is Dravya Shakti. So this we will again discuss. I know it's just a glimpse of it. And then Purush Sutta confirmed will be the next chapter, which we will do. I just quickly gave a brush up because you'll have a continuity of this chapter of all of that. So typically we are more or less done. Have a look at the purports in about 10 minutes, if that's okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Usha Mataji, can you share the purports if that's okay with you? We may not have time for the shlokas. Sorry about that. But I thought I don't want to hold you all back on a day. Did you all understand? Was it too fast or?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Yes for too fast or yes for did you understand?
Both. Both the sides.
As long as you understood, I'm glad. So the first verse, meanwhile, Usha Mataji, are you there?
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji,
I have
she's on the
just
job.
shared it.
Oh, very nice. Thank you so much. Okay. So basically, Narada is actually, the heading of this chapter is dash.
The causes of all causes.
Very nice. First
Cause
shloka.
of all causes.
I want someone to start the first shloka and translation. Rest of the time, we'll skip the shloka. First shloka, someone start, please.
नारद उवाच
Narada Uvacha.
देवदेवा नमस्तेस्तु भूतभावनपूर्वजा विज्ञान्ति यज्ञानम् आत्मतत्त्वा निदर्शनम्.
Translation.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Narada Muni asked Brahma, O chief amongst the demigods, O firstborn living entity, I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Please tell me that transcendental knowledge which specifically directs one to the truth of the individual soul and the super soul. Thank you, Mataji.
Directly is hitting the nail, right? Tell me which will direct me. Brahma cannot tell, I will direct. Tell me one case where someone told, give me moksha, and Brahma said, sorry, I can't because I myself don't have the eligibility. Whom did he say?
Hiranyakashipu.
So Brahma is a very honest person, right? Even though he knows that I am having a fan club and full bio of Hiranyakashipu, he is not telling I can do it. He says that I am not capable of doing it because I am not having that myself. So where do I give you? So same way, he is so honest when he's asking the answer. He's now the first verse, Prabhupada very beautifully is trying to bring in surrender, submission, and service, with which we will have to surrender to our spiritual master, and that is disciplinic succession. We will also have to read text too. Yes, somebody. Fast.
Yat Rupam Yat.
No, do the shloka. This is important. Sorry. Yeah, start. Shloka.
Yat Rupam Yat Adhisthanam Yatha Shishtam Idham Prabho Yat Samistham Yat Param Yat Cha Tatyatvam Vadatattvataha. Translation, my dear father, please describe factually the symptoms of this manifest wall. What is the background? How is it created? How is it conserved? And under whose control is all this being done? Thank you, Mataji.
So very nice. Narada is so smart. He's asked, so intelligent. Do you feel Narada is more intelligent than us? Anyone has a doubt in that?
No
Anyone
doubt.
has a doubt? No doubt. Clear, right? Yeah. Just like how Arjuna is very powerful, Narada is very smart. But the scientists don't understand this. The atheists don't understand that. They create their own theories. Why I'm saying is, Narada, in spite of being so brilliant, is asking the truth. He is called seekers of truth. In India also, we are called seekers of truth because we seek the truth, right? We don't assume. But unfortunately, now we are getting deteriorated. We don't seek the truth. We presume the truth and we tell. Every story, every philosophy, everybody says, I want to get into spirituality. You know what? No, I don't want to. How will you get into something without knowing? I want to do surgery. Do you know how to hold a knife? No. How will it be? Just imagine you're in the operation, right? We are all there. And there's a time doctor says, hey, do you know surgery? I don't know. Then what are you planning to do? Then why do you call that? It's as stupid as that, right? But everybody, and I had this conversation with my brother, my mom was saying that my brother was saying, it seems he wants to enter into spirituality full-fledged. I said, okay, no, but he doesn't want to enter the way you have entered. I said, I itself entered very late and very wrong. Very little we know. No, he just wants to do spirituality on his own. I have no idea what it means, right? How can you do spirituality on your own? You can do something on your own.
Some people are like that. They want to do spirituality of their own.
Exactly. So that I hope my mom is not hearing. Yeah, nobody's there. Okay, thank you. So this is the storyline. So why I'm saying is because Narada wants to know all the facts of truth, and that is called intelligent person, right? He wants to know, we saw, right, numinous and phenomenal world, and he wants to know everything. What is the basis of this world? And any intelligent person, if they don't know, they ask. Idiots think that asking questions is idiotic and they keep quiet. You understand the difference between an intelligent and an idiot is not about their intelligence or thinking. It's about the fact, if I open my mouth, they will think I'm an idiot and he stays an idiot. An intelligent person will think that doesn't matter, I have to know. Then he becomes intelligent. That's all. Right? Otherwise, tell me, all of us don't know. How does one become super brilliant? It's because they ask. And they grow. The other person says, I don't want to ask because I want my image. So now going on to the third, let's just read the translation.
My dear father, all this is known to you scientifically because whatever was created in the past, whatever will be created in the future, or whatever is being created at present, as well as everything within the universe is within your grip, just like a walnut.
Does Brahma know the past, present, and future?
Yes, he knows.
No,
Yes or no?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
No,
No,
Mataji.
no, it's Paramatma.
No,
turn on
Mataji, no.
inside us.
He's just
Both the
providing
answers,
the
both the answers are correct. I'll tell
Yes.
you how.
No,
He
he's
knows
Trikala
to,
Jnani.
no, if both the answers are correct. Then, if both the answers are correct, then Brahma should be equal to Krishna. If both Brahma knows past, present, and future, he should be equal to Krishna.
It's after Brahma is born that he will be
Yes.
knowing, but before that.
Living entity still.
Let me give you a live example of me. I
Mataji
hope you
himself
don't.
is a Jeev Tattva.
Yes.
Brahmaji.
Yeah, that is fine. But I'm just asking past, present, and future.
Mataji
Okay.
doesn't know the past.
Mataji, like Krishna
he
says,
won't know
Name
to
Vidu
recall the
How will
Suragana.
he know
He
the
does not
future,
have,
Mataji?
I
Future
think he
is
doesn't have a
difficult.
future.
Is my personal story or personal experiences boring, or is it okay? Can I share?
Share, Mataji.
No, it's okay,
Share.
Mataji.
Share. Let me tell you a personal story which has something directly to us, all of us connected. Two realizations of mine, and I would like to put it across right now. And this has got something which directly related to this particular thing. We had a soft launch, ISKCON Mangaluru. How many of us were there?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Mataji.
So at that time, we were also present. We were all dividing our seva, so we barely knew what we were doing because it was just over our head. It was a very incomplete temple, but a very beautiful temple. And I still remember, and the Danishri ma'am is not here, but if she was there, she would tell. I still remember, I can never take my words off, right? Prabhu million times told me, stay inside the temple hall, middle of the hall. Okay. Most of the time, we don't listen to people. Likewise. So, but this time, occasionally I listened, right? So he said, stay in the temple hall. So Prabhu said, can we all go around, have a look at the temple? I said, yes, Prabhu. I said, no, you stay inside the temple hall. I said, okay, Prabhu. Then he brought me, he told Dharneshri ma'am, he told, stay with Radhika. Throughout, wherever she goes, I want you to stay with her every second, every moment. Don't leave her alone. This was a statement. We had our Ratha Yatra the previous evening. The morning was the function. We were running up and down, all of us in different places. And I went, from the old temple, we were shifting few stuff and all that, fully active. And someone who understands the mind so well, right? I still can never forget Namnishta Prabhu, where, I actually could not fall because the floor was muddy. And we had to probably take the Abhishekam water. So I was very scared to fall completely because if the dresses get dusted, then we can't go and do seva for the Lord, right? So I was thinking, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Sometimes I do the shortcut, even when I'm tired, I don't fall. Wrong only, but still what to do. But Prabhu is never misunderstood. He's understood everything so well, so perfect, right? So much he can read the mind, like the Paramatma. Now, going to the next step, he told, don't leave her alone. Don't leave her. Yes. So she made sure that our eyes were constantly watching me, though my eyes was fully, we had the Nama Sankirtan, and all thing. We had our Prabhu from Jiva, Prabhu from Mayapur coming singing. And my interest was, okay, how to put Prabhu on, our Prabhu, Namnishta Prabhu on spot. So I told, yes, make him dance and all that. Prabhu was telling, no, I can't dance. At least make him do Kirtan. All that, we were so excited. We were in the middle of the temple hall throughout. And it was the last few seconds of Kirtan. I still remember from the middle of the temple hall, I was thinking, let others have a view. And I just moved out of the temple hall. The moment I moved out of the central of the temple hall, and I still can remember word by word, I went and my leg hit a live wire and I was thrown up, right? I had a shock. I had a terrible shock on that day. I think many of you all knew, many of them won't know. But that moment, my realization was, I never thought of Krishna. Why I'm saying this is, imagine we are in the temple, midst of devotees, more than thousands of devotees. Previous day, Ratha Yatra, we were walking, literally deity, working for deity, and still Krishna name never came out of my mouth. I am not telling I'm an exalted devotee, but I'm only telling by being in the temple, working for Krishna also, that much of practice does not really bring Krishna. That means at least for me, I felt that we need to practice more of Krishna. Point one. Second point is, it's very important to listen to the elders, right? Prabhu could not exactly tell what was going to happen, but I think he had a very strong gut, right? And he was constantly giving this. And the next moment when, Dharneshi ma'am knew it, after about two hours when she came to the room, of course, thankfully, Krishna blessing, you'll be wondering, Mataji, what happened? 3 doctors were present right there. 3 doctors were there. Last, I think the shock was last Hare Krishna. Few devotees who were there thought that I had an ecstasy, but I don't obviously have ecstasy even for talking. Thrown up, they thought I was so ecstatic. I am not Nityananda to be ecstatic. It's only Nityananda who can fly high, right? So this was only current shock, electrical, Maya, I have power. Yeah. So 3 doctors were present, right? And they really took care of me. And thanks to them, thanks to Krishna. And I was only telling one word. I said, I want to be out of the temple. You know why? Because I said, I was just thinking for one moment that anything happens to me there, it will disturb the mood of not only devotees. Just imagine Prabhu's dream and all that. So I was thinking, anything happens, let me just get out. We got out, we went to the room, and Danish Ma'am said, I cannot even look at Prabhu. Because Prabhu said so many times, be with her. I said, Ma, you can't do anything. I could not speak then. I mean, this was a later conversation because I was like, I think it took me a little bit of time to recover. But at least I'm talking today. And that's totally Krishna's mercy because the watt's power was like 450 or 550 watts. Ideally, we would have become an ash. And we recently met the doctor who treated, and he was telling my mom, we have no idea how your daughter is talking. We met them in Odiya Yatra, which we just went about 6 months back. And the reason I'm trying to tell you this in connection with this is because past, present, future, even pure devotees of the Lord do have a glimpse, right? Did Prabhu also had, right? Somewhere past, present, future. Many who are very close to him will encounter this. But the difference between Krishna and him, or any of them, are Jiva Tattvas are, Krishna knows everything in full. They will know a trailer, teaser, or a little more. But the full past, present, like the Vira Vishwarupa darshan was given only once to Arjuna, which is full, is only for Krishna. Is that clear?
Yes,
Yes.
Mataji.
Yes.
Is
you.
anyone
Yes.
is anyone cursing me, Mataji? Enough of the story. Go to the verse. If you're cursing, I'm
No.
sorry.
Never, Mataji, never.
It's really
I-
good to hear.
I
such-
I
Go
just
on, Mataji, go on.
Mataji, Hari
the
Bol.
reason
Thank you for
I
sharing, Mataji. Thank you so much.
the reason I told this is because of one confusion. Many times they used to tell Shiva knows the past, present, but many times Shiva is troubled and there are risks which have to rescue him. Who rescued Shiva every time he was in trouble?
Lord
Krishna.
Krishna, Vishnu, right? But this has never happened for Vishnu. This used to be my doubt from childhood. And this particular verse 3 gave me an answer. And that's thought I thought I will share that. On to verse 4. Please, somebody translation alone.
My dear father, my dear father, what is the source of your knowledge? Under whose protection are you standing and under whom are you working? What is the real position? Do you alone create all entities with material elements or by your personal energy?
Charita Mataji thought someone who reads my mind. But I wanted someone to tell and she just read. Thank you so much. She's asking, Father, what is the source of your knowledge? Whose protection, whose shelter, right, are you? And whom are you working for? Whom do you report to? Who is your boss? Who's the boss of Brahma, please?
Krishna.
Garbhodakshai Vishnu.
I wanted that answer. Krishna, we all know. Garbhodakasai Vishnu is the first boss of.
Garbo.
Yes. Yes. Some places it will be put Karodakasai Vishnu, but you should understand he is a super boss, right? So he's asking, do you alone create or is there somebody behind this, right? These questions, intelligent Narada had, all of you have, but unfortunately scientists don't have. Fifth verse. That is why Maya Prakrita, we say, right? Jnanam, because they are captured by Maya. Fifth verse.
Translation. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As the spider very easily creates the network of its cobweb and manifests its power of creation without being defeated by others, so also you yourself, by employment of your self-sufficient energy, create without any other's help. Thank you, Mataji.
Spider is an example of that. Give me another example for self-sufficiency. One more example for self-sufficiency. Very nice. Moon gets its power from sun, but sun by itself is a self-effulgent planet, right? And self-glowing. Very nice. Thank you so much. Sixth verse, translation. That is what is the fifth verse? Sun. That's another example, and the spider. Sixth verse, translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji, translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Whenever we can understand by the nomenclature, characteristics and features of a particular thing, the superior, inferior, or equal, eternal, or temporary, is not created from any source other than that of your Lordship. So great. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Nothing. Who's telling this to whom?
Narada is asking questions.
Now, this is his own mental concoction. Brahma has how many how many models of bodies has he created?
8 lakhs.
84
84 lakh species.
Of which how many human? How many human?
4 lakhs.
4 lakh, right?
4 lakh human
4
beings.
lakh. All of them Gandharva, demigods. My first doubt was this: 4 lakh. How Gandharvas? Everyone come under human. All are subject to Shastras, right? But Narada Muni here took it for granted that Brahma is that boss. And therefore, this particular verse is not the right understanding of Narada, which we will see further. 7th verse, translation, please. Translation, 7th verse.
Yet we are moved by wonder about the existence of someone more powerful than you. What we think of your great austerities in perfect discipline, although your good self is so powerful in the matter of creation. Thank
You're
you.
super powerful in the matter of creation, but I'm just wondering there's somebody more powerful than you, right? Because Narada is not blindly accepting spiritual master. This is a classic example. And very clearly, the supreme is supreme. There's no one super to that, right? There is something called one who worships. There are one set of people who worship himself, right? Can you give me an example? And it is called, does anyone know the name of someone who worships himself with the idea of becoming God?
Narcissist.
Excellent. It's called Ahangraho Pashita. Ahangraho Pashita, where he will believe in himself, he will worship himself only. There are some jokers, but I don't know whether, I'm not very sure if this is the right example, but I am assuming that most of the asuras are in this category. They think they are themselves. Poundranga is also one more category, right? He used to worship only himself. But I'm not very sure if that is an exact befitting example, but it just came to my mind, so I thought I'll take it. Now let's move on to the verse 8 translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation.
Yes,
My
Prabhu.
dear father, you know everything and you are the controller of all. Therefore, may all that I have inquired from you be kindly instructed to me, so that I may be able to understand it as you.
Student. Now he is not taking his birthright and telling, I am your son. He is using student. So same way, Karpanya dosho pragata swabhavaha. So I am also stuck, very similar. Can you relate? I should have asked you the question. I'm giving you the answer for shortage of time. 5 more minutes, if I may take, I will conclude 15 verses. Yeah, sorry about it. 9th verse, translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Brahma said, My dear boy Narad, being merciful to all, including me, you have asked all these questions because I have been inspired to see into the prowess of the Almighty Personality of Godhead.
Why does he? Okay, Narada is merciful to everyone. Give me examples of all those Narada's mercy became powerful.
Dhruv Maharaj. Dhruv Maharaj. Even for the Daksha's sons, Mataji.
And also
Daksha's sons, Mataji.
Excellent. All the names are correct. All are correct. Parikshit, Dhruv, Prahlad, Dhruv Maharaj, everyone. But why Brahma? But why Brahma? Why Brahma says, including me, you're very merciful. Why is that?
Because he is making him again
Humble.
He's making him
Mataji,
humble.
very nice. Therefore, he has an opportunity to talk about Krishna. Devotees of the Lord love to talk about Krishna. This is a sign of a pure devotee, right? Such discourses purify the atmosphere, right? The discussions, whatever are having, gives answers. He's so excited, right? So that is why he's happy. A devotee of the Lord sees every opportunity. And just one line which I'll tell is, I want you all to tell me the answer tomorrow. I will not tell the name of Guru Maharaj, but there was one particular Guru Maharaj who was selling books, and there was a small child with a mother who was coming and trying to drag the mother and ask the Guru Maharaj a particular question. She was like dragging her mother, dragging, and the Guru Maharaj was thinking, okay, the child is going to buy a lot of books, she's very tempted. Dragging is happening, and then the mother was very reluctant, pushed away, but finally the mother said, my child is just not leaving, she wants to ask a question. He was so happy. He already took 2 books, children book. He's asking, yes, please go ahead, and the child asked a question. And the the person was selling that, the senior devotee was zapped. Okay, now at the end, you're going to tell me what the question is, and then I will tell you what answer the child gave. Now on to the 10th verse. 10th verse.
Whatever
you have spoken about me is not false, because unless and until one is aware of the personality of Godhead, who is the ultimate truth beyond me, one is sure to be illusioned by observing my powerful activities.
Beautiful. He says that, what if you think I'm the boss, you are in illusion. He is given his own work, right? If you think like we have in Dhruva's case also, right? Suniti told honestly to the son, if you think I am a decision maker, you're wrong. What Suruchi, your stepmom told is true, because I am not your favorite. I am your favorite mom, but I am not your father's favorite wife. Right? Same way, Brahma is very clearly telling that I am favorite to Krishna, but if you think I am the boss, then whoever are thinking like that are an illusion. And he's comparing it to a well. I mean, a frog in the well, right? The frog in the well thinks that this is my world and keeps jumping, enjoying, and dies there only. Same way, many of them who say is that no, I don't want to know. I will think, I will assume, according to me, all will be like frog in the well. Choice is us whether we want to know the truth, the supreme truth, or just be a frog in the well and be back into the well, right? And not even back into the well. If we don't know Krishna, we'll be back into hell. Yes or no?
Yeah.
True, Mataji.
Well, though at least okay. So now many powerful people have accepted very many gods, different gods, but Yanti Deva, Vrata Devan,
Pitrin yanti, pitrin bhutani yanti,
Bhutani
yanti,
yanti,
madhyano
Arjino api.
Very nice. There are multiple Brahmas. Brahmas are in charge of many things, but end of the day, Narada himself is a liberated soul. After though he knows it, we know the story of Narada, right? He was a child of the maid servant. We saw how he was there, but he was put into bewilderment just like Arjuna, so that we will know. So we should never misunderstand that Narada is also confused. Look, that should not be our attitude. Narada is put into this situation because we will learn, right? And that's Krishna's desire. So there are many, many kings like Rama. Which kings? Rajyam is called Rama Rajyam.
Lord Ram, na?
So
Ram Raj is similarly Maharaj.
Even Yudhishthira,
Yudhishthira.
yes.
So is Yudhishthira equal to Ram? Is Yudhishthira equal to Ram?
No.
Excellent. Because he is what tattva? Yudhishthira is dash tattva.
Jeev Tattva, Mataji.
Yudhishthira is Jiva and
Jiva
Ram
Tattva.
is a
Ram
is Vishnu
Vishnu
Tattva.
Tattva.
Thanks.
Vishnu
Human.
Tattva.
We are all Jiva tattva. Anu, Krishna, Rama,
Vibhu.
Narsimha, all are Vishnu tattva. Right? So we should always Ram that. Please mute yourself. One second. And now let's move on to the very, very next shloka translation. 11, please.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
I create after the Lord's creation by his personal effulgence, known as the Brahma Jyoti. Just as when the sun manifests its fire, the moon, the firmament, the influential planet, and the twinkling stars also manifest their brightness. Hare Krishna.
No problem. So what they are talking about is the Brahma Jyoti, right? Lord's creation is basically, obviously Brahma Jyoti, right? Based on that only everything gets its power. So he's telling just like that, I am, the secondary creator. Sarga is Krishna and I am the Visargas. So Brahma very, very clearly is honest, right? He's admitting the supreme authority is not me, it is Krishna. He's like the High Court judge. He's by all at that stage, but the Supreme Court judge is topmost, right? So Brahma is also explaining in that particular verse, right? Yasya prabha prabhavato jagadanda koti svasheshu masudadi vipudi pinnam tad brahma nishkalam anantam ashesha bhutam govinnamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Specifically, I'm highlighting this because vibhuti pinnam means what? I thought I explained this in my previous verse.
Mataji,
It is not
you
here.
just mentioned that the Lord is Vibhu and we are Anu. So all the different potencies of the Lord.
Okay, that is particular to this, but Vibhuti Binna means what specifically? In the previous chapter, when I explained.
Opulences of the absolute Mataji.
Oh, Vibhuti means opulences. Binna means
Not different from
Binnam is non-different from the Lord.
not different from him.
So all
varieties also, right? In that context, in variegatedness, very nice. In that context, we also understood Lord's many universes to accommodate many lives there. Do you remember? He is a cause of all creation for unlimited planets, and for people of that particular planet to have an inhabitation there is varieties which are inhabited is the power of the Vibhuti, which is Krishna, which is unlimited, which is unfathomed, which is all pervasive, All of that coming from the Brahma Jyoti, which is Krishna's power. So Brahma Jyoti, what they say, Brahmanoi Pratistaya Amritasya Vyakasyacha Shashvatasya Dharmasya Sukasya Kante Kasyacha. So this is all explained clearly in that, right? So this is what they're talking about, Brahma Jyoti, and one should not accept blindly any Lord. We should know, and we should also understand Krishna is very clearly telling Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, very clearly in Bhagavad Gita. Someone please complete the chapter, no? Word. Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, shloka please.
Aham sarvasya
Aham
prabhavo
sarvasya prabho
sarvatra
manmanacha
pravartate
svabhava samanvitah.
Right. So basically, that is what is another example. From a seed came the banyan tree, and that is very, very important. That how he created. 12th verse, please.
I offer my obeisances and meditate upon Lord Krishna Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead, whose invincible potency influences them, the less intelligent class of men, to call me the supreme controller.
Very beautiful, right? He is telling the Ishvara Paramakrishna. So he says that, but unfortunately, he is telling, I'm praying Krishna, because Krishna is the one who gives us the memory to even mislead, right? Because he's not given sufficient intelligence, because the person does not want to know. Krishna will reveal only to the extent. I had a class with Vishnu Guruma, and that time one devotee asked this, I scold my child, I control my child. Why can't Krishna control me? Very beautiful answer she gave. She said, you should not be scolding your child nor controlling your child. Right? So then why are we? Because we are having our own definition of how we should manage a child. We don't even do that properly, but we are expecting Krishna to control us the way we are controlling the child. Already we are wrong, but we expect Krishna to also make the same mistake. We don't want to learn from Krishna. Instead, we are expecting Krishna to learn from us. Are you able to understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Mataji.
It's perverted.
Yes,
Yes, Mataji, it's
Yeah,
clear.
perverted.
Yeah.
Very perverted, right? So that is a brilliant word, perverted. 13th verse.
Okay.
13th verse.
The illusory energy of the Lord cannot take precedence, being ashamed of her position. But those who are bewildered by her always talk nonsense, being absorbed in thoughts of its I and its mine.
I means ahankaram. My means mamakaram. My child, my water bottle means mamakaram. I means ahankaram. Clear? So we should get out of that. 14th verse.
The five elements ingredients of the creation, the interactions thereof set up by eternal time, and the institutions or nature of the individual living beings are all differentiated parts and parcels of the personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. In truth, there is no other value in them. Hare Krishna.
So basically what he's telling is the five five creations, right? Earth, water, fire, air, all of that, right? Individual, they are nothing but all of them, whatever is coming, right? Intuition, nature, everything, mainly are with which our body, physical body is made of. But overall, our Atma is part and parcel of Krishna. So there is no truth beyond Vasudeva. So that is what they are talking about. So the ultimate point is everything goes back to the example which they have given here, analogy, and examples and analogies are important. The light, heat, and smoke are not different from fire. But end of the day, the fire by itself is a different identity, right? So you can't call them separate. At the same time, you can't tell one portion as this is light only is fire. You can't tell like that. It's a combo, right? So we are separated part. Every part. I won't like I want to scratch my head, right? If my hand is not scratching, I'll get irritated, right? That's what is coma. Coma is what? I want to do something I can't. That is something which is very irritating. No one wants that. But Krishna also will expect the same when we are part and parcel. And this 15th sloka is very beautiful. Narayana Parabeda Deva Narayana Gajaha Narayana Paraloka Narayana Paramakaha. Yes, translation.
The Vedic creatures are made by and are meant for the Supreme Lord. The demigods are also meant for serving the Lord as parts of his body. The different planets are also meant for the sake of the Lord, and different sacrifices are performed just to please him.
Do you remember a very similar verse in Bhagavad Gita, first canto, second chapter end?
Bhagavatam.
Yes,
Bhagavatam, sorry, Bhagavatam. Yes, what is that?
Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Vasudeva Parayoga, Vasudeva Parakre, Vasudeva param dhyanam, Vasudevam param tapa, Vasudeva paro dharma, Vasudeva param gati.
Hare Hari Bol, super Prabhu. Thank you so much. Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva para Maka, Vasudeva para Jnanam, Vasudeva para, sorry, para Yoga, Vasudeva para Kriya, Vasudeva para Jnanam, Vasudeva param Tapah, Vasudeva paro Dharmo, Vasudevo parangati. This is very similar. This is what we will see in action. And therefore, back to this verse, all Vedas, Shastra, everything, Brahma Sutra, Vedanta Sutra, everything tells Narayana is para, including our Shankaracharya, even though he believed in Brahma Jyoti, in Gita Mahatmyam, what he is telling is, he is telling Krishna is the param. Does anyone know that shloka? Gita Mahatmya, last shloka.
एको शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्र गीतम् एको
देवो
पुत्र एव
को मंत्र तस्य कर्मापि
कर्माधि अपि
Very beautiful. It's a very beautiful. Eko shastram devaki putra shastram eko deva devaki putra eva eko mantra devaki. Which one? Bhagavad Gita is referring, right? Eko sarva, basically doing seva for him only, right? So very clearly he's talking about that first line. Forget the rest of the lines. Eko deva devaki putra eva. That means Devaki's putra Krishna is the only topmost. Krishna is very clear, no ambiguity. So even they are agreeing Krishna is the topmost, and with that we should always understand. Aviti Purva, anyone who has a misunderstanding is because he is doing it unauthorized, worshipping of devas. Demigods are also Aviti Purva. Come, this is what is said in Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter. Like watering the
roots of the plant.
Yes, and also Sankaracharya, same shloka says, Eke mantra devaki putra. The mantra, right? We're talking about what? Which is the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, right? Mainly Bhagavad Gita. That is why it's called Gita Mahatmyam. And we are talking about Maha Mantra, which is non-different from Krishna himself, and it's the sum total of all Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam put together. Thank you so much, and thanks to everyone. Sorry, I had to stretch extra. And sorry for the late entrant of, I'm sorry, the teacher did not turn up and I had to back up. Please forgive me for the last moment, shortfalls, pitfalls, whatever is there. Thank you so much for everything.
Class Mataji, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you,
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.